Welcome back, guys. On the Pokemon fan game side of my subscribers to an episode. I've been, well, not necessarily an episode. I'm sorry. I just got to get used to this opening thing that I haven't done it in a while. But I kind of wanted to do an update on not just like, rejuvenation, just to let everyone know where the things are going as of this week. At the time of this video's recording, but I also want to give an update on what I'm planning to do as far as the games that I'm playing. Because like my channel is a bit like, it's a bit freeform. I kind of do like what I want. So like, look, I've recently got a huge amount of subscribers, and a lot of that is attributed to what I do for Yu-Gi-Oh! And the Dragon Maid strategy. And I am, but prior to that, I got a huge amount of subscribers, and even to this day, I still get a lot of attention and like, how could I put it? Like, I guess attention is the word I'm looking for. Regarding like my Pokemon exploits, especially rejuvenation, like that playthrough, man, it like blew up. I love it. I wasn't expecting it to be as popular as it was, but like the very first episode of it has over 5,000 views, and I never expected it to get off the ground that far, but it did. Like episode 27 has like 1,000 views, and I wasn't expecting an episode that late into the playthrough to have such a high viewer count, but it does. So I just wanted to put out an update for those who are waiting for my return, and for me to give a proper answer as to what happened after I got to like episode 8 of Pokemon Empire. So that's what this video is for. And then after that, I kind of want to get into some of the new things that Pokemon Rejuvenation is, putting out. So to explain what had happened, after I graduated, it was that week that I uploaded the 8th episode of Pokemon Empire. I had to start preparing for finals. Including like a 15-page paper and things of the sort, because it was the week I was supposed to get ready to get my bachelor's degree, and everything went well. I got a fantastic grade on the paper, and I did graduate. I did get my degree. So December was a tumultuous month, but it did end up working out and smoothing out in the end. After that though, came January, Final Fantasy XIV's newest raid tier came out, and I'm an avid player of that game, so I had to take time to dedicate to that specifically. And it's just not possible to put out episodes and raid like week 1 hardcore as much as I did, but thankfully, that's all out of the way. But after that I ended up catching a very serious cold, and I was worried I may have gotten COVID-19, the word we're not really supposed to say on YouTube. But yeah, I was really worried about that, and so I decided to take some time off, dedicate to my health. Hopefully things would get better, and fortunately it did. I was not infected with the with the virus. I just had a regular flu, and it had me like on the verge of like like wheezing. But I'm fine, and I'm okay. And now I want to, apologize for not really giving a proper, justification for what happened to me for what is essentially like a month of just nothing, a month or almost month and a half. But worry not. So here are my future plans. I do plan to continue my playthrough of Pokemon Empire. That is the first thing on my list. I want to finish that game. I put in enough time for it, in my opinion, and I don't see any reason why I shouldn't. I don't want to get into a habit of starting games, getting like 5 or 6 episodes of it, and then just throwing it away, right? So I will finish playing that. That is going to be my utmost priority. After that, the next game I play will be a few things. It could be a toss-up between a few things. Pokemon Desolation is still one I am very, very looking forward to, because I've been told it's like, of the big three, Reborn, Rejuvenation, Desolation's the third one on that. And I want to experience it. I played it way back when, but I didn't really get too far into it. So I want to come back as it's been polished up. It should be releasing its new version eventually. I think they're like 80% of the way through if you check the development for it. I'm not really sure, but once that develops, I will, move into playing that game. I also been thinking about playing Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, because I really like those games. So depending on how long it takes me to get to the end of the current version of Pokemon Empire, if Desolation is finished by then, I'm moving into that game right away. If it's not, I'm moving into Pokemon Coliseum and XD. Which if Desolation finishes while I'm playing Coliseum, I'll start doing that and then come back to XD afterwards. If not, I'll do them both back to back. Legends Arceus. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this game. I like the way it looks as far as being a open world Zelda game, Zelda style Breath of the Wild Pokemon game. But there are some things that I'm a bit like apprehensive of. I don't want to share that right now because I haven't actually played the game. I want like the general population's opinions on the game to sit around, and then a couple months from now I'll revisit that game, or I will visit it. I haven't actually played it yet. But the answer isn't no. It's just more of a type of Pokemon game. It's less of what I prefer. Like I prefer like battling trainers and things like that, and like stories. And that game feels more of like a catch them all, like complete the Pokedex type thing to advance. And I'm not really a fan of that personally, which is what the main thing that keeps me away from it. But aside from that, I think that's everything. Oh, Pokemon Insurgents. Oh, hit my mic there. So for Pokemon Insurgents, when I originally played that game, I was coming right off the high of Pokemon Rejuvenation, which is admittedly unfair to that game because Rejuvenation's like the best game I've ever played. It's my favorite game ever. It's Pokemon Rejuvenation. Like, it doesn't matter. It's that, and then like Final Fantasy 14. Those are like my two favorite games, and somehow Rejuvenation actually wins out. But aside from that, I do want to continue my playthrough of Pokemon Insurgents at some point. I'm not going to put a date on that, and the only reason I'm doing that is because I want to be fair to that game, because it was a trailblazer for its time. So I do plan on coming back to it, to finishing that playthrough. It just won't be in anytime soon. It'll probably be after Desolation, which would also mean it would also be after Pokemon Coliseum and XD once I get to those games. And of course after Pokemon Empire. And aside from that, I don't think there's anything else I need to say. Just trying to make sure before I segue into the Rejuvenation updates, because I don't want to like so yeah, I will be playing Pokemon Insurgents again. I'm sorry. Give me one sec. Okay, my apologies. And the next announcement, my Pokemon Reborn playthrough. I don't like it. I really don't like it. The mic was awful. That was before I got the mic that I'm using now, and like I really didn't like that playthrough. Now granted, there are some things about the game that made me frustrated, but I'm not taking that game down. Absolutely not. It will still be there, but I'm not sure when I plan on doing it. I will be redoing that playthrough. So you will see Pokemon Reborn 2. This is going to be when Pokemon Reborn itself receives its final update. I think after this, like this next update, the game is done completely, which is almost surreal since that game is like the father of fan games. Or so yes, do expect in the future that I will be replaying Pokemon Reborn again. As for version 13.5 for Rejuvenation, right? I guess we should get into this right now. Before I talk about my plans for how to handle this version that's also not a new version, if that makes sense. So anyway, let's get into this. This is a letter from Jan to all the community regarding, Legends Arceus and version 13.5. It's been a little while since I've made a general update. Things have been updating very slowly, it seems. Why? Well, the reason is that I'm just taking it slow, which is completely fair. I think with how much polish and how much work they put into version 13, they do need to relax, because they're not getting paid for this. I mean, and it's a pet project, and I want it to be as great as it can be, and I'm willing to wait for it. The only tragedy is that I pass on before I get to see this game's completion. So that's my wish, is that I get to play the definitive edition of this game. So after the main release of V13, I decided for my sanity I needed to take an extended hiatus, or take things one at a time. I don't like sitting around doing nothing, so the latter option sounded like the best option for me. I agree with that. That's completely fair. We should be doing what works for us with this kind of workload. That being said, even though I'm taking things slow, I made good amount of progress in terms of setup. I know not everyone follows me on Twitter. I do, but I do post interesting things there occasionally. You guys should follow Jan. Also, please support this dev team. I know Jan has a Patreon. Please, guys, if you see this video, please support them. They put in so much work for this game, and this is the result. Here are a collection of things I've worked on in the past few months. In my opinion, this is worth my money. I have been a patron for 2 years now. I want to say almost, and I don't regret it, because I love this game. It's my most favorite game, and it just keeps getting better. The Sawsbucks are drinking from the lake, the attention to detail. The map looks so pretty. What started as a Gen 3 clone has now evolved into its own subdued, but at the same time beautiful world. Look at this cave. The light brimming, the god ray shining down on the magic orbs. It's just, there's so much attention to detail. I don't know if this is going to be the soul cave from the end of the version, but that's what it looks like, and it's just wow. Then you have this fire cavern. I'm not sure where this is, but I love the color set they went with. I like how they toned it back a little bit to pull it away from that loud Gen 3 aesthetic, because when you go back to Gen 3, trumpets, all that, I like that the return to the past portion of Pokemon Rejuvenation looked exactly like it was ripped out of Emerald's tile set, because that's what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to make you feel nostalgic for those games. But if the present felt the same way, then I felt the contrast wasn't as accurate. Now, to be fair, the present didn't always look the way that it does now. In earlier versions, it was a lot more rough. They were using things closer to the original game's tile set, so the switch didn't hit as hard. But now you can see it, and you can tell that the game it's just so well made. I believe this is Anju's castle from the Diamond route. Looks really nice. I'm not sure where this is, this place right here, but it looks really cool. I'm trying to figure out, is there any place in the game that looks this sort of lavenderish? Maybe the wild area, or I'm sorry, it's not called the wild area. It's called the I believe it's the resolution zone or something. I can't remember. I haven't been there in a hot minute. I actually haven't played the game much since I completed it, just because I've been moving on to other things. So, Grand Dream City. Oh my god, they've reworked Grand Dream City, and Jan has been solely on his Patreon. I can't show anything that's on the Patreon that's not on the website. This is on the official website, so I'm going to show this, but I'm not going to, those are his rewards for his patrons. So it would be disingenuous of me to reveal those. So I'm sorry, guys. But if you're loyal fans, and I encourage you to support them, the dev team, for this effort, Jan, Zumi, Azri, etc. You please find some way you can to support them on Patreon. Just even $1 is worth it. But even still, look, we have like a ramen shop in Grand Dream City. There are more alleyways to make the city feel more alive. You know, NPCs like living in this world. This honestly looks like the Under. But it's just so much. I'm not entirely sure where this right here is. It looks to be a film studio. But okay. This map's out. When I was looking at this one actually took me by surprise. Because it has the whole like carriage from Generation 3 where you're going up Mount Pyre. So was it Mount Pyre? I think it was Mount Pyre. I can't remember though. So interesting. I can't wait to see where this is placed in the world, to give context to it. Now we have it looks to be an underwater train station, which looks really, really nice. I'm honestly curious as to where this is and what's going on, but it looks fantastic. Like it's so much that I almost want to replay the game, right? But if I were to replay the game, it would probably just be an isolated moments with the new things, just so that everyone has understanding of where things are. I'd probably take those individual scenes that are new, cut them up, and then place them like in between the episodes in the actual playthrough, just so that everyone can see the updates. Or I might make a separate playthrough which explores what are the narrative changes, because supposedly there are many narrative changes, especially regarding chapter 10, where you meet Flora. They're going to restructure how all of that works. And I feel like it's too important to ignore it to be missing. So I want to have the context, and because you all are my audience, you all need the context too. So expect I'm not going to say a full replay of Rejuvenation. That's not in the cards. But do expect me at some point, once this version releases, probably not when it releases. When it releases, it'll just be Robin again, exploring the new world, seeing everything and doing the new stuff. And then later on, I'll come back and explicitly, go over the new changes to specific arcs at some point. This, I think right here, this looks like Route 9 to the Scholar District entrance, because I can kind of see like the fall autumn style leaves in the background of the windows up here. So this looks really nice. This looks like the Darchlight Woods, I believe, but it's hard to say because you can see the little technological like structure at the bottom of it, like right here. And I don't know if this is I don't really know if it's like in Darchlight, 'cause there's nothing like that in the current version of the game. Yeah. And then this right here, this looks to be Pokestar Studios. It's hard to really say, but all I know is like Grand Dream City. I love the way the city looks now, and it's only going to look better, and I'm all for that. So he's got a small Q&A. Will the Pokemon and Legends Arceus be included? Yes, they will be included in version 13.5. That is unknown at this time. We haven't made a solid decision for those just yet, but we'll have an answer on this soon. Overquill is my son. That's the new evolution, or new. I think it's a new evolution, but it could also be a new regional variant of Quillfish. Sneasler does not exist. Sneasler is the new evolution of Sneasel, and that thing looks horrendous. I don't like it. Is the main content in 13.5 optional? So a lot of the side quests have to do with main characters progressing their stories and personalities in less world-ending ways, which I appreciate. I've decided to group them all together in a linear progression mini-story. Think of it like Where Love Lives. Definitely shorter than that, though. So 13.5 into its own version, I guess. However, even if it's grouped together as a mini-series, it'll never be required to do. In future versions, player will have the opportunity to input or option to input a password and automatically complete and receive all the rewards. Okay. The only problem I have with this is that he's giving players the option to skip world building and character development. But I can understand why. Maybe if you play the game like a bunch of times, you don't want to sit through that stuff. But as somebody, I mean, as long as the code isn't given in the game, or like, I don't want people to skip that, because in my opinion, the best parts of the game are the character interactions and the character development. So like, I want to, if I can have an episode dedicated to the characters just sitting and talking to each other and understanding how they feel on certain topics and interacting and building relationship points, you know, I want that. I want to just be able to hang out with these guys. So I'm not skipping that. You be prepared to sit through all of that with me. If 13.5 is its own version with its own content, does the content have a title? Yes, it's named .karma files. Okay, .karma files. I don't know if that's a joke, but it is what it is. Do you have anything to show from .karma files? Yes, an evening of friends hanging out in the new Grand Dream City market. Yeah, see, this is what I like. You know, they're just sitting and talking to each other, you know? Well, they're standing, but you get what I mean. I think this is Venom. I'm like this person with the, it's hard to really say. It looks like it's Venom, but they're all wearing new clothes and stuff like that. And there also seems to be new Protagonist outfits. Oh, let me exit full screen real quick. My bad. It looks like it, because I don't recognize, yeah, I don't recognize this outfit right here for this character, which is still cool. I have a third outfit for the protagonist. It's technically, I'm not even gonna worry about that. But yeah, that's pretty cool. When Legends Pokemon are eventually added, how do you handle the evolution now? Yeah, so I know there are some Pokemon like Standler that evolve based off of using specific combat styles and like specific moves. So instead, we'll probably turn them into level up plus have this move learn. Okay, that's fair. That's probably the logical way to handle it. But yeah, that seems to be all the information. I can't seem to find anything, but yeah, just look forward to like the future. I definitely plan to get back on the horse, starting with Empire. I'm really sorry for like not saying anything for so long. It's just January is just busy holidays, and then, you know, getting cold and other things just taking over my like attention. But I do hope to do better this year, and find a consistent groove. I'm absolutely not going to do streaming every day again, maybe unless I am like, I mean, we're uploading an episode every day. The only way I'll do that is if like the game is like Pokemon Rejuvenation, like I gotta see the end of it, so I'll probably do that one. But like the other games that I'm not as passionate about, or at least to the point where I get passionate about them, it'll probably like 3 episodes a week, 2 to 3. I don't know which days, because it's always a bit complicated, and like I'm currently in between jobs right now, because now that I got my degree, I'm trying to do right by myself and not waste too much time like in a dead-end part-time job. So I'm, you know, job hunting and things like that. But that's gonna be it for the video. And to my Pokemon fans, I'm really sorry for ghosting you all, but I promise I am back. If any, for some miraculous reason, someone who enjoys the Yu-Gi-Oh half of my channel is watching this, everything that I do for Yu-Gi-Oh will be done for Pokemon. In fact, it may likely that I do 2 videos for Pokemon and then 1 for Yu-Gi-Oh each week. I think that's a easier schedule to do, because the Yu-Gi-Oh videos, they don't need to be like produced as, you know, they're not story driven or anything like that. So yeah, they're not as demanding or require grinding or stuff like that. But anyways, that's gonna be it, everybody. My name is Sora Bell. Thank you very much for listening to me ramble on about things you either care or don't care about. Look forward to an episode of Pokemon Empire very soon, like within the week. And until then, you all have a good one. Have a good evening. Be safe. Protect yourselves and your family. Take care. Bye.